I never believed a simple wall calendar could predict death until the night I found my name written on tomorrow's date in handwriting I had never seen before. I moved into my new apartment on a cold Thursday morning, the sky gray and heavy, the kind of day that feels like it's waiting for something bad to happen. The landlord told me the last tenant left suddenly, but the rent was cheap, so I didn't care. I spent the day unpacking and pushing furniture around until my dresser hit the wall with a dull thud. When I pulled it back, I found the dusty old calendar wedged in the gap. It looked like it hadn't been touched in years. Faded forest picture, yellowed pages, and a cold, stale smell clinging to it. I flipped it open lazily, but my stomach clenched when I saw names written on every date from January to October. Each name had a specific time written next to it, exact down to the minute. It looked like a schedule, but a schedule for what? When I flipped to November, the entire month was empty except for today's date. Written in dark ink, Mark Thompson, 11:32 p.m. The name meant nothing to me. Maybe it was a prank or a leftover scribble from the previous tenant. I tossed the calendar onto the kitchen counter and went back to unpacking. But the apartment felt cold, too cold. Around 9 p.m., my wall clock suddenly fell and shattered. At 9:30, the lights flickered twice. At 10 p.m., the calendar slid off the counter and landed face up on the same page with Mark Thompson's name. Unease crawled under my skin. At 11:31 p.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Static cracked, then a breathless whisper. You don't have much time. The line died. My heart hammered as I turned toward the calendar. 11:32 p.m. Right then, something slammed against my apartment door. I opened it slowly. A man lay in the hallway, blood pooling under his head, limbs twisted, eyes staring lifelessly. People screamed. Police arrived. I overheard an officer say, "His ID says Mark Thompson." The exact name, the exact minute. I couldn't tell the police about the calendar. They would think I was insane. I didn't sleep that night. In the morning, I tore the calendar into pieces, burned it in my sink, and washed the ashes down the drain. I thought it was over. 3 days later, I opened the cabinet and froze. The calendar was hanging on the wall again, perfectly intact. Not burned. My chest tightened painfully as I stepped closer. It was flipped to tomorrow's date. A new name was written. Anthony Miller, 6:04 p.m. Anthony worked in my building. We had talked a few times. A sick dread twisted my stomach. I needed to warn him, but how? No one believes you're going to die at 6:04 p.m. tomorrow. Still, the next day at noon, I approached him. I awkwardly asked if he felt strange lately. He laughed it off. I told him to be careful today. He smiled, confused, but didn't take me seriously. As 6 p.m. approached, my heart pounded so hard I felt dizzy. At 6:04 p.m., the fire alarm screamed. Smoke poured from the kitchenette, people running everywhere. I saw Anthony rushing toward the stairwell. I pushed through the crowd and yelled his name just as a ceiling panel shook loose and crashed down on him. He fell instantly, motionless. The time was exactly 6:04 p.m. 2 names. 2 exact times. Cue death. I couldn't stop. The calendar wasn't predicting death. It was marking it. I sat in the dark that night, staring at the calendar that refused to die. Why me? I whispered. No answer, only silence pressing in around me. The next morning I checked it immediately. Tomorrow's date was blank. Relief washed over me until noon. At exactly 12:13 p.m., ink appeared on the page by itself, letter by letter. as if a hand only I couldn't see was writing. Claire Reynolds, 3:26 a.m. My sister, my only family. She lived in Ohio, hours away. Panic crushed my chest. I called her immediately. Claire, are you home? Are you safe? Yeah, why? You sound weird. I begged her to lock every door and stay inside. She hesitated, scared by my voice, but agreed. The hours crawled by painfully. At 3:20 a.m., I called again. She said she was fine. At 3:24, she whispered, "Nothing's happening." At 3:25, I told her not to hang up. My heart felt like it would explode. At 3:26 a.m., there was silence. My entire body froze. Claire, Claire. Then she breathed out. Sorry, my phone slipped from my hand. Tears filled my eyes as relief washed through me. I had beaten the calendar. I saved her. She said she was tired and wanted to sleep. I let her go. I sat on my couch, shaking with the aftershock of fear. But as the relief faded, something cold slid down my spine. A breeze drifted behind me, though the windows were shut. I turned. The calendar flipped its own page. Fresh ink glistened on today's date. Only one name was written. Mark Reynolds, 4:02 a.m. My full name, my exact minute. I looked at my phone. 4:01 a.m. A slow, heavy creak came from my bedroom. Something shifted in the dark, not rushing, not trying to hide, just waiting. I stumbled backward, chest heaving, vision shaking. 4:02 a.m. The lights went out. Something moved behind me. A presence. A shape in the dark. A cold breath brushed my neck, and in that instant, I finally understood. The calendar never predicted death. It arranged it, and now, it had come for me.